Hello, gorgeous humans. Welcome to the morning show. Happy Monday. I'm your host, Marli Ansel at Marli Ansel on the Instagrams, and we are here for another episode of the morning show. And today we are talking about one of the juiciest subjects of all, how to shift your identity into the reality that you want to experience. This is one of my most favorite topics because this is the foundation of how we create our entire reality on purpose and permanently, not just that one time, two-time manifestation. So today we're talking about shifting your internal identity, your internal state of your own definition of life and of yourself. And we're going to talk about how it directly affects quite literally everything in your reality. So by the end of this video, you are going to be so excited about your opportunity and power to be able to start implementing this into your life immediately. So good morning. Hello. Hi, Chris. Good morning. Hello to everyone jumping on. I'm so excited to talk with you guys today. So we are just in a whole new world, are we not? Like, things are shifting. Transitions are happening. Now, we haven't talked about the cosmos in a while, so I'm going to say this because it's popping into my head right now. We have a Pisces lunar eclipse. Pisces lunar eclipse coming tomorrow? I believe it's tomorrow. Okay, so this is said. Now, I am not your master astrologer, okay, but I'm going to tell you what I have received and what I've been seeing. This is a massive changeover energy. It's new beginnings that are coming. It's old things being eclipsed out of your life. It's this new cycle that's initiating. And as we know, Pisces is one of the most spiritual signs that there is. So there is a huge rush of this new higher vibrational energy that's coming in for us right now. Now, like all things in the cosmos, it's our choice if we're going to flow with it or if we're going to resist the hell out of it. That's our choice. That's our free will. But I invite you to kind of just ask yourself, like, what transition's happening for you right now? What new high vibrational energy is trying to make its way in? What is asking to be let go that you need to just be done with? And we're going to talk about that today on our topic. What is life asking of you? What have you been holding on to for maybe just a little bit too long? You know what I mean? What lower level energy, what idea about yourself are you making up that has been limiting you, holding you back? What energy have you been just like swimming in, trying to fix instead of just letting it go? Y'all feel me on this? Okay. So, not new moon. What is it? Full moon lunar eclipse happening tomorrow in Pisces. Be with the energy. Don't waste this vibe. Amen. Okay, let's dive in. So we're talking about how to shift your identity to shift your reality. This is so huge. And this is a topic that has always been like near and dear and close to my heart because we don't see it talked about a whole lot. Amen. We see a whole lot about the law of attraction. We see a whole lot about mindset work, which is very important, but we don't see we see a whole lot about manifestation, but we don't see a whole lot about the source of it all, which is your definition of self, AKA your identity. So let's back it up, rewind for a minute, just so that we can kind of lay the foundation here. Your identity is who you believe you are. Okay. It's not who you actually are, because as we know, who we actually are infinite souls, infinite light. We have access to everything on a higher vibrational level beyond what our little minds can even comprehend. But you come into this earthly experience to have this human experience. And along the way, you pick up some definitions about yourself. Amen. Right? Let's bring it down from the esoteric quantum world and let's put it right here in front of us where it is. You have an idea of who you are. But I want to point out to you right now, that's all it is an idea. You have an idea about who you are. You have an idea about your personality. You have an idea about what's possible for you. And you've been living inside the box of that idea pretty much your whole life. Okay? All right, stay with me because this is where it gets really fun. If it's just an idea, then I have the power to change it rearrange it, have a new idea, expand it at any point in time. At any point in time, I can choose to begin shifting the definition I have about myself. So your identity does go through these natural evolutions, right? So, like, you're not the same person that you were when you were 15, right? If you can remember all the way back to when you were 15 years old, you had a definition of self back then, probably not conscious of it at all, but you had a definition of who you thought you were, right? And along the way, you go through life experiences that start to morph, shape shift, force you to let go of some stuff. Like, we can't stay in high school forever, right? And start to expand you into these new definitions, these new ideas of who you are and who you can be. So, a lot of the circumstances that we go through are the catalyst for the evolution of our identity. I'm going to say it again. A lot of the circumstances, all of the circumstances that we go through are the catalyst for the evolution of our identity. But a lot of times, what do? You guys know what I'm about to say. A lot of times we fight our circumstance. We try to fix our circumstance. We make our circumstance wrong and we try to change what's happening so that, hear me on this, so that your identity can stay the same. If you heard that, your whole life just shifted right now. Most of the time, what we do is we have circumstance that comes into our life. It is meant to be a catalyst. It is meant to get us to shift our perspective, to shift our definition of self, and to shift the actions that we take or that we would normally take. The circumstance is trying to get you to evolve in who you are. Okay. But most of us, most of the time, even the most like knowledgeable spiritual of us, because we're human, most of the time what we try to do is figure out how to fix the situation so that we don't have to change anything about ourselves. Now, this isn't conscious, right? Until we make it conscious. Most of the time, we're just trying to get by. We're just like, just lifing, right? Like life is lifing and I'm riding the wave and I'm just trying to get by. When you become conscious of this, though, you start to see your circumstance differently. And this is your number one how to strategy to start shifting your identity. Once you become conscious that all circumstance is trying to get you to shift, change, and rearrange something that's not working for you. It's trying to get you to let go of a limitation. It's trying to get you to rise up in your potentiality of who you can be. It's trying to get you to see something differently. Once you start approaching your circumstance from that mentality, you're going to start seeing yourself and your life evolve very quickly, lightning fast, because it's the opposite, literal opposite of what we have been doing or what people normally do, which is I've got to fix that situation. Something went wrong, so I need to make the situation different. Never looking at what's going on in here. Never looking at what is this asking of me? Where is this asking me to evolve? Where is this asking me to see myself differently? Where is this asking me to see life differently? What is this asking of me? So when you start looking at your situations and your circumstances from that perspective, oh my God, this is where that all things are happening for me phrase, like these annoying cliche phrases that make us so mad. You know what I mean? Because something bad happens, something goes wrong. And then, your bestie spiritual friend is like, well, it's happening for you. And you're like, God, it's not. Right? But in truth, it is. But here's how it is. It's asking you to see it differently. So when something happens in your life, because we've all got a circumstance, amen. Like we've all got something happening in our life that's perpetual, that feels like it won't go away, that feels like it's constantly holding us down, like that thing. Look at that thing and ask yourself, what is this asking of me? Oh, that's a different question, isn't it? It's a different way to go about it. It's going to shift your perspective. So when you ask yourself what your circumstance is asking of you, where is it asking you to see things differently? Where is it asking you to let go? Where is it asking you to rise up? Now that puts, do you see what happened there? That puts all the control, all the power right in your hands. Because as you take ownership and responsibility for that, it is going to start changing you. It's a shift, isn't it? It's a shift out of the mentality that this is happening to me, that I'm some victim in this, to this is causing a catalyst in my life so that I will evolve, so that I will rise up, so that I will shift my identity. So when we're moving through life, if you have caught yourself, hi Bianca, if you have caught yourself in a perpetual situation feeling like your circumstances happening to you, something went wrong, you're making yourself wrong, I messed up in some way, I've got to fix this situation because my past self mucked this whole thing up. If that's where you're at, cut it, cut it. Instead, realize that every manifested situation is a catalyst for you in some way to evolve who you're being, to let go of past limitation, to let go of a constriction, to let go of a limit. And it's asking, rise. It's asking you, where do I need to rise? Where do I need to let go? Where do I need to expand the way I'm looking at this? So once we start doing that, we take all the power back. And this is everything. If you at any point in time catch yourself feeling out of control, feeling frustrated, feeling like you can't make something happen, you are 100% of the time in that energy, you are throwing your power away. And I really want to point this out to you. You're the one doing it. You're the one doing it. You are never out of power. You are always in power. But you can create a situation where you feel like you're not in power until you do this flip the script. You got to flip the script. What is this circumstance asking me to do? What's it asking of me? How is it asking me to shift my definition? How is it asking me to rise up? What is it asking me to look at or to see? How is it asking me to see this differently? Once you start shifting your perspective on a situation, the situation is going to start shape shifting because it's no longer now a circumstance that's holding you back, is it? It's no longer a circumstance that's just like the worst thing in the world. Now it's a circumstance that is your catalyst to rise. Ooh, that's a lot more fun, isn't it? So when you allow yourself to flip the script on this, you're going to take all your power back. I mean, your center of power is here. You're the center of your snow globe. What else could there be? Like, what else could there be in your situation here? So, if you are in this mentality where you have felt victim to something, where you're blaming something, you've got to start asking yourself if this is a reoccurring situation, if this is a reoccurring thought, if this is a reoccurring thing that I'm blaming for my life being a certain way, then I got to flip the script. And I've got to ask, what is this asking of me? What is this trying to wake up in me? What power is this asking me to rise into? Because everything is trying to catalyze you. Everything is trying to wake you up. Everything's trying to get you to expand, but we have free will, so we can fight that shit really hard. Amen. We can be like, no, 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 that has to change and then it gets better. But what is that? I'm deflecting outside of myself, saying, I don't need to change anything in here. That needs to change. And do you see how you just threw all your power away? Because you can't do anything about that, can you? You can't change that. You can't make that different. The only thing that you have control over is you, but it's enough. It's more than enough. And when we can start seeing life this way, we start to see it as this game we're playing for us to rise up, for us to level up. I love the metaphor of the video game because it just puts it into perspective. Like, think about when you go through a level on a video game. Do you want it to just be perfect sunshine and rainbows and you just stay the same and it's like boring as hell, right? We create scenarios and situations that put us in challenging times sometimes, that put us in states where it's going to call on us to figure it out. It's going to call on us to rise up. But the thing about it is that we are all supported. We're all supported in this. So when you can choose to see life this way, you're going to start taking ownership over yourself. You're going to start rising up in your power, and you're going to actually be able to do something in this world that you want to see. You feel me on that? So it starts to get really, really exciting. So you've got to be willing to see things differently, and you've got to be willing to see yourself differently. If I'm operating as the victim in whatever is happening here, then I am just going to continue to be looping in the same situation, getting knocked around by the waves. I've got to take ownership over that. I've got to say, you know what? This is here for me in some way. Let me figure it out. Let me figure it out. Let me rise. So everything is responding to you. Everything is responding to you. Now, we don't have enough time to fully go into that today, but when you start to really take ownership that everything in your life is a response to your energy in some way, then you start to really care about how you're seeing things, about the way that you're operating, about the way that you view yourself, and about the way that you show up in the world. Because, in example, if I were to come on here and I were to show up and I would just like complain and like emotion vomit on you guys and just be like, tell you about my problems and blah, 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 the response is going to be what? Probably going to be some commiserating, some people sharing their problems back. It's going to be some like, I don't like this girl. She is just miserable, blah, blah, blah. But the response is dependent on my energy that I put out. So everything is always kind of like bebopping, like binging back and forth. And so if I want to see a different world, then I've got to express a different energy, which means I have to start seeing my world in a different way. Because if I see it as like everything is awful, yeah, then I'm going to respond with everything is awful. But if I see it as everything is a catalyst for our collective growth and expansion, oof, then I'm going to start showing up in a different way. Amen. I'm going to start showing up in a different way. And then I'm going to be exuding a different energy out. And then that energy is going to be responded back to me in a different way. And this is how we shift the world. This is how we shift. We start with what's around us. We start with our community. Amen. We start with our little teeny tiny community that's around us. But that creates such a ripple effect. It creates such a wave because when you put that energy out, that energy is going to shift the person that's around you. And then they're going to take that on. Even if it's the teeniest, tiniest little 1 millimeter shift, then they're going to go and they're going to exude a higher level energy to someone else. And then that's just going to keep going on and on and on and on and on. So we sit here and we go like, I'm one person, what can I do? The truth of the matter is that if every single person took responsibility for their own energy and for the way that they're seeing life, we would change the collective like that. That's it. That's it. All right. Well, that's a wrap for this morning. I love you guys so much. I hope this really spoke to you. If this was helpful, please share the show and let's expand our ripple effect. Let's expand our impact. If you all are interested in coming and learning the beautiful energetics world of spiritual coaching and shifting your identity and your mindset, I have my 6-month certification program that's opening up. So if you are interested in coming into that, you can message me for details, or you can check out the link in the show notes below or in my bio. It is called the Spiritual Coach Training Program. I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you back here on Wednesday for another episode of The Morning Show. Goodbye, my loves. Goodbye. Bye, guys.